Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Between the Stars. When we last left off, we just escaped the clutches of the Children of the Sun. Now we'll be going to visit an old friend to see if we can get this Children of the Sun ship refitted. Let's continue.
Warp successful, Captain. We've just reached the coordinates.
Wouldn't it be easier to ask the Republic's intelligence service for help, Captain?
I'm afraid there's no one left we can trust. After what happened with Admiral Flynn, we can no longer be sure there aren't any more loyal men to Nartos among our ranks. I've known Logan and his team since we were kids. We can trust them with our lives. And what's more, his team is far beyond ready for this job. Even the Republic has often asked for their help in undercover operations.
Let's finish as soon as possible. This core slot reeks of feet.
Okay. So I'm just gonna say, I don't trust Patrick Jackson, so if this goes south, I know who to blame. Captain, we're receiving an incoming transmission. You nod and listen to the message. This is Captain Orson Carrick of the Interstellar Republic. We've been ambushed by a Children of the Sun squad. My men and I have managed to leave the area, but NATO ships are closely following us. We request immediate backup. Captain Schmidt speaking. We can assist you, Captain, but we need your position. Did you hear that, Beth? Send them our coordinates. Hurry, we don't have much time left. We'd better... The transmission is suddenly cut off. Gutierrez looks at you in silence. We have their position, Captain. Copy that. Let the rest of the crew get ready. I don't trust that we're going straight here before something happens. Also, if anyone's noticed, I got a new headset. Yay. White Family Farm. You set everything to ready and activate the boarding bridge, which screeches for a few seconds while it is deployed. The light coming from the nearest star in the sector dazzles you as you get off the ship. Suddenly, the sound of a gunshot startles you. Logan White. Stay there or I'll blow your head off. You're on the wrong planet, you bastards. Logan. You turn your head and recognize the man who is threateningly pointing his rifle right at you. After lowering his glasses a couple of inches and looking at you askance, he lowers his weapon and eagerly walks towards you. Schmidt? By all the stars in the goddamn universe! You scared me to death. What the hell are you doing with a damned Helios Andromeda? I almost shot you. The crew looks at him puzzled as you shake hands. I haven't seen you in years. I thought the Children of the Sun would have killed you by now. They've tried it more than once. Logan laughs out loud as if he hadn't been about to blow your brains out just a few minutes ago. Come on, come on. Schmidt's friends are my friends. You leave the ship behind and you head to the farm. The whole place is littered with junk and all sorts of mechanical devices stacked up on top of each other. These surround a building in the middle, a huge old house made almost entirely of wood, which does not look like the rest of the nearby structures, where the tools and other utensils are stored. How is everybody, Logan? Logan answers as he opens the front door. We're screwed like the whole galaxy is. With everything that's going on out there, I've been forced to stop all the interventions. The boys are dying for a little action, but times are changing. Every day we're more and more exposed. On the other hand, the old man's getting worse. I guess he's just old, that's it. But taking care of him and the farm. I'm a busy man, as you can see. Logan opens the door and invites you in. How's Susan? Haven't you heard? Susan left the farm years ago to go to a pulsar workshop. She was working on the Thamma 6 before the attack on Tacet Stella. You feel a lump in your throat. Logan reads your mind and goes on. Don't worry, she's fine. She managed to escape before the Children of the Sun soldiers reached the port and Anteros. Yet she's been quite absent since the attack. Seeing you will definitely cheer her up. The inside of the house is just as you remembered it. It is as if time does not go by in this place. The smell of wood immediately transports you to the past and you gaze down the hall. Susan, look who's come to pay a visit. Hi! You hear something falling to the ground in the nearby room. Suddenly, Susan appears under the doorframe with her eyes full of tears running towards you. You greet her with a smile. Glad to see you again, As soon as she is close, she squeezes you with enough strength to break your ribs. Monica, I'm so glad to see you. I thought the Children of the Sun had killed you on Tacet Stella. She immediately steps back and taps you hard on the shoulder. Susan White, damn it, you should have let us know that you were still alive. Logan and I thought you'd be dead by now. I'm sorry. In a minute or so, she's gone from relief to fury. You better be sorry. The captain's so busy that she can't even send a goddamn transmission to her old friends. Susan lowers her tone of voice and smiles again as she walks towards the crew. I guess you're staying for dinner with us, right? You see, Logan cooks a delicious lamb stew. Of course, thanks for your hospitality. After a little chat, you leave the crew at the house helping Susan with the farm chores, while you and Logan go to look for firewood to speak privately. You have known the two siblings for many years. The fact that Logan already suspects your intentions does not take you by surprise. Okay, what are you doing here, Schmidt? I know you. We haven't heard from you in years, and all of a sudden you show up with your crew and a ship of the Children of the Sun. I don't think you're here just to have a few beers and reminisce about old times. He is absolutely right. I have to ask you a favor, Logan. Logan sighs, trying to hide his interest. What's it about this time? I need to access the Children of the Sun's database. You explain yourself. We've taken over the ship of one of the Children of the Sun's commanders, and our plan is to infiltrate the Nova Magna headquarters. It would take me too long to explain how we've ended up here, but I believe this is the only way to put an end to this war once and for all. With a gesture, Logan asks you to summarize your story. Although we have the gear of the ship's crew, but I'm afraid that won't be enough. We need new IDs and also to modify the ship's records to certify us as its official crew. Logan answers, forgery of documents, record modifications on a warship. Why can't you just ask for money, like old friends usually do, Schmidt? There's more. You continue. We can't make sure that no one will check our IDs against headquarters records. I need you and your team to access the facility databases and register us as an official unit. Logan remains silent as he thinks about it. After a few seconds, he starts talking again, looking really annoyed. No way, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, Schmidt, but I'm not willing to risk my family for this war. I thought that you needed information or that you wanted to access some small military group's terminals, but hacking the Children of the Sun's central system, it's too much. Even if we managed to break through the first firewalls, they could detect us in a matter of minutes. It's the only way. I said no, Schmidt. You decided to join the Interstellar Republic of your own free will. Neither Susan nor I should have to pay for it. You answer. We can protect you both, Logan. If anything goes wrong, I'd take you to headquarters immediately. Admiral Mason won't have a problem in... Logan interrupts you. How did the Interstellar Republic protect Susan? She's all the family I've got left, and I already almost lost her. I'm not going to risk it happening again. That's my final word on the topic. We'll have dinner in peace and you'll leave at dawn. You won't drag us with you, Schmidt. All right. It's pretty obvious that your request has upset Logan. Even you regret having to turn to him. But you have no choice. He and his team are the only people capable of accessing the Children of the Sun's database without raising suspicion. Dinner takes place in a tense atmosphere. You know Logan is a good guy, but he has always been very stubborn. You understand that the risk of being caught is high, but you have to ask him for help in the hope that he would understand that. Although it is a desperate move, it is the only option you have. There is a brief silence during which Susan raises her voice. Okay, what's wrong with you two? After so many years without seeing each other, now you won't even look at each other. What happened out there? You look up at Logan. He is staring at you, expecting you to remain silent. Everything's fine, Susan. It is a fair deal, although you do not share his opinion. Logan has every right to refuse something like this. You know that if the plan failed, the Children of the Sun would soon track down anyone who tried to access their systems. Although you cannot think of any other way to carry out your mission, it would be best to leave the White family out of it. Logan White. We had a little argument, but it's all settled now. After this conversation, dinner continues in a more relaxed environment. Little by little, everything goes back to normal. After a few mugs of White's craft beer, problems seem much more bearable, and everyone cheers up. After a while, once you have finished, the crew members start leaving the room. You stand up and go outside to the house's porch, where Logan is lying on the floor while taking a deep drag on a cigarette and looking at the stars. Hi, Logan. I'm sorry for what happened before, Schmidt. Thanks for not telling my sister. Knowing her, she'd drag the both of us to hell if you asked her. Don't worry. I know you're doing this to protect your family. I can't take the risk, Schmidt. It's all I have left. Still, there might be another way. Another way? I know someone who might be able to do it. We have not had much contact except for a few missions back in the day, but I know firsthand that he's one of the best. I must warn you, though, this guy is quite peculiar. Actually, I'm not entirely sure he'd be willing to help you. If you really want to do this, I can set up a meeting with him. I appreciate your help, Logan. Okay, we'll take care of the ship then. It shouldn't be too difficult to hack its security protocols without triggering any alert. We'll make sure the IDs match the false records. It will take me a few days to get in touch with my contact. He's particularly cautious, much more so since the war began. If you agree to his terms, he'll validate the ship's records that will hack at the Children of the Sun's bases. This should be enough for you to move around the area without raising too many questions. After talking for a while, you go up to bed. You would have preferred to settle the matter between yourselves since you know that you can trust the whites. But if this is the only way to do it, then so be it. It's bedtime. The sound of animals coming from outside wakes you up a few hours after dawn. You go downstairs to meet your crew as soon as you enter the dining room. Logan greets you and takes the last sip of his coffee. It seems that someone overslept today. Where are the others? The boys woke up a few hours ago and have been helping us to check up on the ship. The security protocol seems pretty strong, but no system is impenetrable. Can you make it? With the right equipment and enough time, we can do it, yes. Before I take any risks, though, I need Susan to finish the plans. You know her, she's a mechanical enthusiast, so this whole thing is like a challenge to her. As soon as we've checked the ship, I'll call my team to override the security system and access the logs. Although I'm afraid we're going to need something else to penetrate the system. Something else? The security protocol of the Children of the Sun's ships works like a linked chain. It's possible to modify one of the links, but if the rest remain the same, it's possible to detect the irregularity and that would trigger an alarm. To make this possible, we need several systems that can authorize the modifications, avoiding detection. We could emulate the verification of the encoders with our own systems, but it would take months to decipher your ship's encoders and generate compatible copies. You look at Logan in silence, waiting for a summary. In short, since we don't have months, we'll need at least half a dozen CSP identity encoders from other children's ships to carry out our plan. We can take care of that. Logan looks at you concerned and you try to reassure him. Come on, Logan, trust me, we'll be fine. I don't get it, Schmidt. The Interstellar Republic has thousands of captains at its command. Why do you have to risk it all? How far do you plan to go to end this war? I've asked myself the same questions hundreds of times. You both go back to the ship and help Susan and your crew with what they are doing for the rest of the day. The next morning, you and your crew prepare to take off again. We'll be back in a few days with the decoders you need. Susan says goodbye with another of her strong hugs, and Logan shakes your hand tightly. We've opened a safe transmission channel. If everything goes fine, my contact will get in touch with you within a few days. See you soon, Schmidt. Don't get killed. The boarding bridge closes and the crew gets ready for takeoff. Time to go.
All right. Does anyone know where to find the coders we're looking for?
Don't worry, Captain. Susan told us their exact location in the different models of the children's ships.
Great. Now we just have to come across a few enemy ships.
Amplifying search radius. Targets located.
Alright, let's do this. Right, let's get this over with.
ships has been destroyed.
That's one.
Targets neutralized, crew. We are out of danger.
So Logan won't help us to access the Children of the Sun's headquarters database. Do you trust his point of contact to do the job, Captain?
If Logan thinks it's for the best, we'll do as he says. We can trust his word.
Do you believe he'll be able to bypass the ship's security system? He doesn't seem to be a cybersecurity expert.
Remember the scandal involving the SMC Council a few years ago?
I do remember. A terrorist group named Nemesis was blamed. They leaked data from hundreds of illegal operations.
Exactly. But the press never knew that Nemesis operated under the Interstellar Republic's direct command. Logan was the team leader.
If they're so amazing they could help us access the Children's headquarters instead of referring us to a stranger.
It's too dangerous for them. If it were up to him, I'm pretty sure he'd volunteer for the job. If Logan's scared, it's because there's a high risk of being detected. I'm not going to ask him to sacrifice his team and his family to help us.
If they wanted to stay out of it, I don't understand why they agreed to modify the records of the ship and the children's team.
I guess he knew it would be impossible to get us in touch with someone who would agree to a face-to-face meeting. Being able to work from the shadows increases their chances of accepting the job.
Let's move on to the next.
Captain. Plotting course. They are jamming our engines, Captain. We'll finish you off and spend your credits on updates.
One of the enemy ships has been destroyed. Excellent work, team. Are you all okay?
Captain, we're receiving an incoming transmission. I can't identify the source.
Accept the transmission, Mai. It must be Logan's contact.
Hey, 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 Captain. How's it going? Bringing some creeps down to justice? Good times to be the captain of a warship, huh?
Who am I talking to?
I should have thought of an epic name for the occasion. What about Thunder, Scourge of Evil? Nah, too long. Maybe Crow? Nah, I hate birds. I know, Hollow. Nope, it sounds like the name a lousy screenwriter would come up with. You know what? Forget it. I'll call you back when I've got something. I'm sure I'll figure out something better.
What the hell just happened?
One of the enemy ships has been destroyed.
And that's that.
Excellent work, team. Are you all okay?
I'm back! Hollow speaking. You there, Cap?
I'm here, Hollow.
Great! We've a lot to talk about, Captain. Tell me about yourself. What are your dreams and aspirations? I think we should get to know each other better if we're about to work together.
I'm sorry. I'm not wasting my time following a maniac's game.
Oh, ouch! That hurt, Captain. You shouldn't talk like that to your new colleagues. What will your crew think?
I'm fed up with you, Hollow. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. Mai, cut the transmission.
I wouldn't do that, Cap. This reminds me once when...
Cut it out!
Captain. I've designated the location in our system.
Oh, you should have seen your face. I'm gonna print a shirt with that screenshot.
What's going on?
I have control over your ship, Cap. I'm afraid you'll just have to keep listening to me.
All right. I'm listening.
The ship's controls disabled. You have no choice but to hear what Hollow has to say. The man might be contemptible, but he has been able to render a commander's ship of the Children of the Sun unusable while operating from an unknown far corner of the galaxy. Logan was right. Hollow does not bluff. Hollow, I'm glad to get your attention back, Cap. Friends must listen to each other. Let's see, a captain of the Interstellar Republic piloting an Andromeda and making business with the Pulsoluminous members of Nemesis. Something very big must be going on. We need your help, Hollow. I know that. The question is, why would I help you? You have been rather rude to me, Captain. That crazy son of a maniacal hyena thing wasn't nice at all. That's not what I... The ship starts to shake. Don't give me excuses, Captain. You hurt my feelings. You sigh deeply to calm down. I'm sorry, Hollow. Let's start over again. I'm Captain Monica Schmidt. Pleased to meet you. See? There's nothing wrong with being polite. Now, tell me what you need. We need access to the Children of the Sun's military records. For a few seconds the silence reigns, although Hollow does not take long to break the silence. Wow, you're asking me to break the law? Captain, I believe the Republic ensured fundamental freedom and rights. What happened to the right to privacy of the poor Children of the Sun? Will you? I don't know, Captain. Sounds dangerous. Risking so much for a stranger. Everything would be different if we were friendlier. Hollow takes care of his people, Captain. This man is getting on your nerves. We're friends now, aren't we? Wow, you really are selfish. My mother told me to be careful of women who come to me just out of self-interest. You sigh again, trying not to lose your temper. What do you want from me, Hollow? A small favor is proof of our friendship, Cap. You're asking me to risk my ass for you, but I don't know if you're willing to do the same. Do you know Robotic Applications? It's one of the leading manufacturers of domestic robots. Their line of robot wives revolutionized the android market and became extremely popular. You answer confused. Why are you telling me all of this? Hollow. The company has its products distributed throughout the galaxy. Although some of its androids are used for domestic purposes, most of them are operated either by the company itself or by third parties. Robotic Applications, without going any further, is operating in secret dating houses where they allow abuses of all kinds against their androids for a handful of credits. It's sick. You amaze me, Hollow. You keep talking. You don't seem like the type of person who would worry about something like that. I'm glad to see you have empathy for someone, or well, something. Hollow. What can I say, Cap? I guess we all have our little heart. The point is, I've got a KL-41R3 model for purely academic purposes, and I can assure you that their intelligence cores are a real goldmine. Apparently all the intelligent models or robotic applications respond to a source signal located in one of their company's main factories. I've managed to decode the security passwords and generate a code that disables robots. It would be a definitive solution, but the time it'll take them to restore the systems will result in the losses of several million credits. I understand, and what do you need from me? I'm afraid the physical barrier is the only thing that separates me from my target. Although I have the keys, it's impossible to load the program externally. I need someone to take care of it for me. You don't have to answer now, Cap. I'll give you some time to think about it while I outline the plan. Just think of the poor androids forced to spend their nights with dirty mercenaries and pirates, willing to use them for their darkest fantasies for a few dozen credits. Completely.
I'm glad everything's clear now. I'll get back to you in a couple of days to hear your reply. Try not to get killed until then, Cap. Oh, I forgot. You'd better keep your mouth shut, just in case Nemesis asks any questions. We friends know how to keep secrets from each other, don't we?
Of course.
Perfect! All settled then. I'm giving you back control of the ship. See you soon.
Now, funny thing is, I almost thought that blue screen was legit and pressed the power button on my PC, but looks like I was wrong. Now, let's go and finish the final one. Okay, I'm aiming very poor here.
One of the enemy ships has been destroyed.
And that's that.
Great job, crew. We did it.
Captain, we've got the 5 encoders. We're ready to get back to Logan.
Copy that. Mai, set the new course.
Aye, Captain.
Alright. And that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed. When we come back, we'll be finishing the encoding for our ship and I suppose getting on a bit more with Hollow Joy. I'll see you in the next one.